We had a 3 a.m. wake-up call this morning. We left the hotel at about 4 o'clock and then we left for Mount Merapi. We went up the mountain with what they call American Jeeps, which was an incredible experience.
When you're in Jeep, just follow instruction from your driver because your driver is a professional driver. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's it. And please hold it tight. Okay? Have fun!
Okay, so we're about to head up Mount Merapi, which also known as Mount of Fire. It's one of 300 volcanoes in Indonesia, but it is the most active volcano in the world. The last big eruption was in 2010, and apparently they say that they happen every 5 years, which should be interesting. We're alive. Bumpy ride. Yeah. It's almost like they head for all of the obstacles, which makes it just that much more fun. We didn't go all the way up to the volcano because it is a very active volcano. And it is actually, in fact, it is the most active volcano in all of the world.
Yang di atas siapkan kamera, kamera sudah mulai muncul. Tampak pelan-pelan, silakan kamera. Mutiara bangsa, silakan diabadikan.
In 2010, which was the last eruption from Mount Merapi, a Batu alien landed. It came straight out of the volcano and it landed here, and it's actually got a face on it. Need a little bit of an imagination to see it. Got the ears, or the ear, it's a profile face, the forehead, the eye, nose, and an open mouth. And Batu means stone, so this is Batu alien. I still don't see it.
I see 3 faces.
Do you? Then on the way back there, we stopped at a museum, which they call, very informal museum, they call it the House of Memory. It's quite sad to walk through it. It's an old village house that is filled with everyday household things that has been completely destroyed by volcanic ash, which happens just before and after an eruption, and everything is melted. There's a TV screen, it's completely melted. A remote, which you can barely make out, is actually a remote. And yeah, it just gives you a clear indication of the kind of damage that a volcano and an eruption can do. It's quite devastating if you look at all of the items in here. Got destroyed, melted basically by one of the ash clouds that happens before and after an eruption, which we by now know is the last one was in 2010. I mean, just look at this. I think, yeah, this used to be a radio. That used to be a TV, and there's the TV's remote. Little bits and pieces of it. There's the clock, which has set, well, it's melted into the actual time of the last eruption. I don't know why, don't ask me, but I feel like I'm shooting a Hollywood blockbuster and I should be Julia Roberts. Wild in Africa, though we're not in Africa, but that's the way it feels. From there, we went on a little bit of a surprise. They told us that we were going to the Yellow River, which turns out is a river, more like a dam, with kind of a low water level, but with these pebbles that are about the size of tennis balls. And before you know what's happening, your guide races through these puddles. And of course it's an incredible obstacle course for the driver, which you can tell they have a lot of fun driving through. But it's the biggest thrill, and they go round and round and round the track. That was definitely, I think, the highlight of my day, if not the trip. That was incredible, totally unexpected, but I want to go again. Now. From there, we went and had the most incredible coffee, believe it or not. If you've ever heard of, or if you ever use the expression having a cup of Java, here's where it comes from. It comes from Javanese coffee. But what they do with the Javanese coffee here is it's black coffee with quite a bit of sugar in it, and then they dunk charcoal in it. Weirdest thing ever, but it's got a unique taste and flavor to it, and I'm actually thinking of trying it at home after a braai on a Friday night. Do you want me to drink it? It's hot. We also experienced the market. Anything and everything you can think of is being sold at the market. And the big secret here at the markets is, of course, to barter. I forgot to tell you about Pindul Cave. It just goes to show how busy this day was. It was so much to take in. You enter the cave with these massive tubes that you sit on, and all these tubes are interlinked with all of the other people, and the guide then pulls you through the cave, and that lasts for, I think it's about 300 to 350 meters that you go through this cave system, and it is beautiful. You see all these rock formations, and you see all the bats and water dripping off here and there. It's absolutely breathtaking. You then get out of the cave into the open air, I suppose, and then we got to jump off. It was not very high. It was about 4 meters off a little cliff that we got to jump off of, which is such a big thrill, even though it's not very high. But then we took a hike with our tubes a little bit up the road to where the river starts, and there we did the whole tubing thing again down the river. And then we did first a 5-meter jump, which again doesn't sound like it's very high, but I tell you what, once you stand on top of that ledge and you realize that you're gonna have to go down because you can't really climb your way down, you have to jump down, it's quite a thrill. And I managed to convince myself into doing it by counting to 3 but jumping on the second one. Then I did the ultimate jump. I jumped from 10 meters high. That took a little bit more convincing on my part, but I eventually did it. I headed for a second run, but unfortunately I kind of slipped and fell. Had a slight blonde moment, so my ankle was a little bit bruised up. Otherwise I would have gone for a second one, but that was incredible. And then we swam up the river to where the cars were parked, which they picked us up from again. And that's when kind of seemed like it was never ending. I thought I would end up right at the Moela in Swakop, but very peaceful, so peaceful. The water is quite warm-ish, even though it could have been ice cold. We really would not have cared because of the humidity and the high temperatures here, but that was absolutely amazing.
Next time on Anne Explores Wonderful Indonesia.
Sebuah tembang dari pojok sejarah melantunkan benih-benih mutiara kehidupan, menebar cahaya